Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 7th edition of the Youth4Entrepreneurship Gozo. It is with great pleasure to have you here again this evening as we celebrate innovation, creativity, and the entrepreneurial spirit of young people. This initiative is organized by the Gozo Business Chamber in collaboration with Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, Malta Digital Innovation Authority, Gozo Regional Development Authority, Bank of Valletta, Malta Foundation, Direct Gozo, Jobsplus, Malta Enterprise, and the Ministry for the Economy, Enterprise and Strategic Projects. We sincerely thank all the partners for their commitment, collaboration, and continued support. This year's theme, Digital Solutions for a Smarter Island, reflects Gozo's growing ambition to integrate digital innovation in addressing local challenges and shaping a more sustainable, efficient, and resilient future. Participants will be assessed according to the following criteria: applicability to the Gozan context, financial sustainability, innovation and sustainable approach, ability to solve a problem or address a specific need, and the quality and clarity of the pitch. On my end, I now invite Mr. Michael Gallia to deliver his introductory remarks.
Good evening. Welcome to the 7th edition of Youth4Entrepreneurship. This is an event that started as a test. It was the idea of Daniel. And today, it became a fixture and a yearly event in our calendar as a Gozo Business Chamber. This year's theme, Digital Solution for a Smarter Island, is an event that was chosen mostly for the reason that we as a chamber are looking forward to seeing the economy of Gozo enter the road for diversification. We know that Gozo's economy today is mostly dependent on traditional sectors like construction and tourism, but Gozo has an opportunity and new sectors in these innovative sectors definitely add a lot of value to our economy. So, digital transformation is no longer an option for Gozo. It's essential for businesses, it's essential for public services, and also essential for our environment and competitiveness. So, what's the youth play a very important role in this event. Digital transformation depends on young people, their skills, creativity, willingness to experiment, drive innovation. Tonight, it's about celebrating this event. Our message to the participants is that you have to show the initiative, the discipline, and the courage. Presenting your idea is not an easy task, but it's the first step for real entrepreneurship. Participating is important. Winning comes after. Whether you win or not, you are contributing to Gozo's future and showing leadership. Our responsibility doesn't stop with this event. Our goal is to evolve Youth4Entrepreneurship into a structured pathway to support mentorship, do follow-up, and also see that ideas grow beyond this evening. Our message to the stakeholders is that public and private actors must work together. Build an ecosystem where young people can thrive, innovate, take risks, and grow, including learning from mistakes. I would like to take the opportunity to thank the Gozo Business Chamber team, Daniel, Jasmine, Joanne, and also thank our partners. Their work makes this event possible each year. Thank you for being here. Let's continue believing in our young people. Let's keep building a smarter, stronger, and more innovative Gozo.
Thank you, Mr. Gallia. It is now my pleasure to invite Ms. Miriam Tauma, CEO of Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, to address us. Aġenzija Żgħażagħ has played a central role once again, particularly through the structured youth work sessions held over the summer, helping participants refine their concept and develop their confidence. Thank you.
It's always weird on these mics. So good evening. Thank you for being here, and also thank you for inviting me to be part of this. Mr. Gallia, thanks for this initiative, and also thanks to my team who really work hard for this initiative. In reality, this is not the first initiative that we're doing. We've been working with the Gozo Business Chamber for quite a number of years. This year is digital solutions. Okay, that's better, thank you. I never find a way of how to do it. So this year, the theme is digital solutions. It's a theme that is of our era. We have, over the years, we always get these revolutions, as we call them. Digitalization, AI are what we're living today. So, and for us, this has been and is an important theme that the young people were working with, but it's also an important theme for us as Aġenzija Żgħażagħ that works with young people. AI is here with us. It's changing rapidly. It's also taking its course without even being able to predict what will happen with it. And the fact that we are involving the young people in this is very important for us, because it is something that we can't just put aside, and it is something that the young people together with us need to live with it. So coming up with solutions using digitalization and AI is important. But today I would like to share another aspect of how we can continue working on this. We're involving the young people to give us ideas. Because we really want to get them on board, and also we want them to become critical, innovative, and be part of our life. But this is a simulation. This is an idea where young people grow. I think we need to go further than this, and we need to continue further involving them in our decision making. I've just come from Strasbourg this afternoon. I simply went home this afternoon, put another dress and came running to Gozo. To, in a way, evaluate the Council of Europe presidency that we have just had on our island. Maybe not everyone was so much aware, because so many things happened in Strasbourg, but there were also a few things which happened in Malta, and the young people had quite a say in this. One of the things that we organized here in Malta was a ministerial conference for youth. And in this ministerial conference for youth, the ministers adopted a declaration to try and put a youth perspective in everything. And why am I sharing this with you? Because in such businesses, in the business chamber, I mean, and in any other entity, we should try now and make an effort to involve them in our decision-making process. I mean, how can we really get them on the table, not only come up just with ideas, but also at the table every day, whenever we're meeting, to listen to them and also take action on what we say. And the agency is therefore here to support you. I mean, it is supporting you in this project. It is ready to support you in this Youth Perspective initiative. And therefore, I encourage you, in a way, to start thinking the next and the new project after this. Before I stop, I would like to say the last point. Congratulate the young people who participated in this. I mean, I will be looking forward to listen to your ideas, but also to the fact that you have found, in a way, the motivation to participate in this and be part in this. As the president of the chamber was saying, it's not the winning which is important, but it's the process, the learning, and the building of the critical mind. And therefore, I also encourage you to become our ambassadors for next year and encourage other young people to join this project and be part of this project next year. Again, I thank you all. I thank all those who have been working on this. Keep it up. It's always a pleasure working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Soma, for your intervention. Before we begin, I would like to welcome our distinguished panel of evaluators. Mr. Bernard Montabello, Head of the European Digital Innovation Hub. Ms. Francesca Giudice, Projects Manager, JA Malta Foundation. Mr. Simon Schembri, Manager, Community and Outreach, Youth Work Services, Aġenzija Żgħażagħ. Mr. Ivan Falzon, Chief Executive Officer, Gozo Regional Development Authority. Mr. Ivo Camilleri, Chief Strategy, Transformation and Data Officer, Bank of Valletta. I invite you to take a seat. Thank you. So may I remind all the contestants that you have 10 minutes to present your pitch, and as a small reminder to our evaluators, the question period must not exceed the 10 minutes per pitch. I now invite Josie Aldim to present her idea, Gozo Circular Creations.
Thank you for coming here this evening. I am Josie Oldham. I am a student at MCAS Paula. I am in the networking sector, and I'm going to present my idea, Gozo Circular Creations. Gozo has a lot of trash around the island and has a lack of meaningful souvenirs which have proper grounding to Gozo's history, Gozo's values, and a lot of the souvenirs which are offered here are easily found in Malta as well. My idea is to take the trash and take the lack of meaningful souvenirs and fix them both with one solution. A lot of the youths also agree with me on the excessive trash on the island. I made a survey and I sent it around to my other students at MCAS Gozo. I got 32 responses, and 93 of the participants agreed that when they go outside for a walk, they regularly find trash or litter around the nice parts of Gozo. 50% consider that litter and waste is a major issue throughout the island, whilst 43% see it as somewhat of a problem, and only 2 people responding saying they don't see it as a problem at all. What I'd wish to do to address this situation is to take the trash and transform it into meaningful souvenirs to be sold online and in stores in Gozo. We will use branded recycling bins around Gozo, next to BCR machines or in locations near the squares. We will gather up materials from those and we will repurpose them into valuable products via 3D printing. These recycling bins will be placed in areas of interest. They will be labeled and they will have on top of it a filter to make sure there's no, let's say someone puts a bottle in there, it will make sure there's no liquid in the bottle. We will collect the plastic through these bins, and also we will set up monthly cleanups in areas in Gozo where there is excessive trash and waste. These cleanup events will be hosted fully by us and funded by us, and hopefully we'll be getting volunteers from the schools. The Victoria School has Eco Scola. We're hoping to have some students from there to volunteer to help clean up the beaches and the countrysides. We will reward the participants of the cleanups with the 3D printed prizes, which we will be selling online, but to the participants we will be giving them out for free. We'll be partnering with Filacorp to convert the plastic gathered into filament. And we'll also collaborate with BCRS, so when customers donate their bottles, they will have the option to donate to us as well, and those donations will be used to fund the cleanups. We'll also sell the products online, like figurines, coasters, with more of a Gozo value, Gozo theme, like the Dover Bridge. And we will use pre-established tourist shops around Gozo to also sell our items. We'll be partnering with Filacorp. They will use their eco-blend filament, half of their one, and then half of the plastic that we have collected, and give us the filament to make it cheaper than the market price, but then they will also ensure that the filament is strong, as recyclable plastic may not always be the strongest. Using half of theirs, half of ours will make it so the souvenirs do not break and they are strong. With BCRS, we will allow customers to donate the returns, and we will be using MDIA's 3D printers to print our figures until we are able to buy our own 3D printers from the profits. This is the prototype of one of our figures. For the first prototype, I decided to do Joseph and a sheep, as I live in Allah, and Joseph is the patron saint of Allah, and I'm using the sheep to represent Jesus as the lamb of sacrifice. We'll have 2 different versions of the figures, one painted and one unpainted, and they'll be sold at different prices. Yes. This is the financials for the business. We estimate that at the beginning, it won't be as much revenue, and during the summer times, the revenue will become a lot larger, and then we'll go back down in the non-tourist seasons. For the first year of finances, we will not earn much profit, but I believe over the years there will be an increase in that slowly but steadily. The initial investment I'm willing to do in this business is 15,000, with the equipment cost being 5,400. This will be for the colored bins. I want to start off with 15 placed around the island. And then from there, I will add more and more as more profits come in. But as a start, I believe that is a steady amount. The possible risks is contaminated waste. I believe this is medium, as we will have the bins labeled as plastic only, and the lids will be contamination proof. Inconsistent plastic supply, it would have a high impact on the production, but the risks are low as we're partnering with Filacorp to fill the gap. Low engagement will also be a high risk and a high impact, but with the proper marketing techniques, I believe that this can reach the correct audience. And the cost of the processing, medium impact and medium risk, will be partnering with Filacorp to get the filament lower. We'll be using MDIA to use their 3D printers for the first few years, and then BCRS will help us fund the cleanups. This is some photos from Gozo that I took last week. This is what I hope to do with our project, make it a cleaner area and nicer for not just us, but for tourists to come visit. Thank you.
The panel can now make their questions. I would like to remind you that you have 10 minutes to do so.
Yes, okay, we're on. Hi. Well done, Josie. Thank you so much for your presentation and your idea. I just wanted to ask with regards to the partnerships. Have you already had discussions with these individuals, or is it something that you plan to do, or are you basing this on that they will actually accept and go ahead with these partnerships?
I have contacted Filacorp. They have agreed for the partnership. I've contacted MDIA and BCRS. I have not contacted them, but my mentor used to work with BCRS, and he suggested that I add that to the presentation and contact them in the future.
First of all, a very big well done. It's an amazing presentation, and clearly a lot of thought has gone into it. How important do you think that social media will be in engaging an audience that would then participate with you in collecting waste and going through the process?
I think it would be very important, because without it, I won't be able to get the word out there properly. I hope with using Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook Reels, I'll be able to make fun little videos of the cleanup to try and get more young people interested in joining.
Hi, Josie. Well done for the idea. What I like most from your proposal is that you're trying to nudge a lifestyle rather than the product itself. There is a cause behind your idea. And that's one of the big transitions we're seeing with big international companies, multinational companies, that they're selling lifestyles rather than products by themselves. You mentioned surveys and questionnaires. Were any market research done to assess demands for these products amongst your target audience?
I haven't done any surveys on the target audience, but I believe that tourists, when they come to countries, they would rather choose a souvenir which is more meaningful and has an actual impact on the place they're visiting over something which is mass-produced and can be found in any of the shops in both Malta and Gozo.
Okay, thank you.
So, Jody, well done for your presentation. Just an observation when you mentioned collaboration with a Coscola, which I think is a good idea as well. potential partner who might be able to also assist you with the cleanup and maybe provide more raw material for you would be NGO Zibel, that they do a lot of cleanups around the island. My question would be to you is, what skill or skills do you have that you think these kind of skills will help you implement and achieve such a project?
With my skills in IT, I believe I'll be able to make the website, I'll be able to create the figurines, I'll be able to market properly, I'll be able to edit the marketing videos without any extra outside cost, and I'm thinking maybe in the future with this idea, I'll implement an embedded system into the bins, so it'll be able to sort the plastic itself to if it's actual plastic waste or if it's food waste, or kind of similar to how the BCR machines are now, where they remove the bottles which aren't proper. I'm hoping with my skills I'll be able to add that to the bins in the future.
Well done for your presentation. One observation, maybe can include something more about community, because as Simon said, you can use NGOs for your advantage, and they will help you to get more raw material. One question I have you tried to do a minimum viable product in terms of using Freela Corp already to create a product itself?
I haven't done that at all, I must be honest. I'm just going based off of estimates and prior experience. It wasn't with Filacorp, it was prior experience with 3D printing is what I'm going off.
Sure, of course, you're more than welcome to try at the Hub MT. Having said all of this, it will help you understand how much time it will take to create your products ultimately, and then you can estimate how much you can produce. So that's a suggestion for you.
Thank you. I have something I would like to give to the judges, if possible.
Thank you, Josie. I now invite Fulvio Valenti to present his concept, a smarter and innovative way to experience Gozo.
Good evening, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Fulvio Valenti, and tonight I will present a smarter and innovative way to experience Gozo. So, the background is that Gozo is well-known, rich cultural heritage, has unique architecture and iconic landmarks. However, many tourists leave the island without a deeper understanding of the island. And the structures which we have, so the Citadel, the St. George's Basilica, the Gigantia temples, are all symbolic and date to a rich architecture. And thus, tourists cannot take a piece of Gozo at home. At the same time, as it is an innovative thing and digital, 3D printing technology has become more accessible to users and produce accurate nearly one-to-one ratio miniatures of buildings and historical sites. This creates an opportunity to offer visitors something meaningful and educational and innovative. What is my idea? My idea came out that I went to Tapino's Basilica And once you enter, there are 4 statues of Carmine Grima. And when I saw them, the idea clicked. And since they were so detailed and they had a tactile feel, the idea came out and I presented it. These models which I would create for the Gozo landmarks are to be used using 3D scanners and high-resolution images to ensure a perfect detail. These models would be using the biodegradable PLA filament. If you do not know what's a PLA filament, it is a polylactic acid filament, which is recyclable, natural thermoplastic polyester that is derived from starch and sugarcane. How will it work? The process starts with capturing the landmark using drone images. Now the drones have become more accessible and cheaper. Laser scans and photogrammetry. Also, these 3D models then will be created to the minute details and prepared for printing. Who are the target customers? Tourists and local businesses. Tourists, so that these buildings, so Cittadella, Gigantia temples, St. George's Basilica, all have a deep meaning. So tourists can go to a local business in St. George's Square and buy this piece of model, and they can take these models at home, of course, to take that detail at home. Local businesses can showcase these models to have a Gozo inside of them. Also, these products will be labeled made in Gozo, not made in Italy or made in China. They are going to be high made in Gozo, as they will be projected, designed, and printed in Gozo. Now, budgeting. The main costs include a good quality 3D printer, which there are some cheap and very expensive. The cheap one, of course, they are not so much in detail. They can be, but not so much. While the high quality printers, of course, can print the tiniest details. The printing materials, the filament, of course, the 3D scanning software, which takes a long time to learn and to pay the license. Also, these costs include the packaging, branding, and marketing of the product. So the timeline is that in the first month, there will be research, checking and testing printers, and creating the first prototype to showcase. In the second month, I will be scanning the main landmarks, so Tapino, Citadel, the old Asia window, which fell in 2017, and many other landmarks which you can find in Gozo. Then, in the third month, I will be finalizing these model designs that eventually can be also sold on Amazon or online sites, and check the print and build quality, so that you can take it with your hand and it doesn't break in your hands. In the fourth month, I will be setting up the business, the website, the packaging, the pricing, so it can be affordable at the same time while taking it at home. During the fifth and sixth month, it will be launched officially in shops and online websites. And in the next months, I will be expanding my range and improving production. Now, source of funding. I have checked several schemes and grants from the Maltese government, and there is the Malta Enterprise grants. Also, there is the tourism or cultural heritage funding. There's also the crowdfunding, which is Kickstarter. If you do not know what the Kickstarter is, basically, you launch this product on Kickstarter and you see to whom the market is about and if people like it. Then there will be partnerships with local souvenir shops or local councils. This is the profit and loss chart. I have included during the first and second months the grant which Malta Enterprise can give me, and include plus or minus all of the costs involved for this business. Of course, not everything can be stars. I can encounter some difficulties. The print times can be very slow depending on the size and complexity of the product. There is the competition from cheap mass-produced souvenirs, so made in China. Then also there is the seasonal demand. It means higher in summer, more people in summer, while in winter there's a low business, nearly no one, but there are some few tourists that come here. Then we have to maintain the consistent quality and prevent print failure so it doesn't break in your hands. And the licensing or permissions for selling these models of the protected buildings. In conclusion, my idea is important because Gozo heritage has to be preserved, and it can be preserved using modern technology. It gives visitors a high-quality, meaningful souvenir that can represent the island at home, while not only the photos you have, the buildings, and it supports the local economy, local tourism, inspires education, as eventually in the future it can be used for educational purposes, and it promotes innovation and technology. Combining tradition and 3D printing makes Gozo stand out as both cultural and forward-thinking. Thank you.
I now invite the panel to make their questions.
Again, a very big well done, an innovative idea, and there is a potential linkage with the other contestant as well. So well done. Have you given any thoughts on using the scans for other opportunities, for example, virtual reality or game design? Because once you have the scans, then they can be used for other things as well.
I can eventually, in the future, using the 3D scans which I already made for the models. Yes, I can make an app or sell them online, and of course, yes, it can be used. Yes.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
I see that 3D printing is trending pretty well. As Eva said, this has the potential to expand in other areas. Would you have an idea of the average size of a model of a scan?
Around, if I'm not mistaken, the base around 10 to 15 centimeters, while the height 8 to 10, something like that.
This applies also to Josie. Keep in mind that today tourists travel with much less baggage. All right, yes. Baggage limitations are a thing, okay? And if I recall well, there is a study that says that 60% of tourists these days don't buy souvenirs because they're a big headache, okay? But as Ivo said, this has the potential to go into the soft version of it, yes. Okay? Well done, Fulvio.
Thank you.
Hi, Fulvio. Thank you so much for your presentation. Very interesting. I just wanted to ask, with regards to the scanning, just because I didn't manage to see the financials very well, but like, what are your how much do you project it will cost, and how will you kind of make up that cost over the time? Like, I don't know if it was there or I missed it. So my curiosity is how much will it cost for you to actually do the scans, and then how long will it take you to actually make that money and start earning a profit? At what point do you think that would?
Okay, so in the chart, I did not write the scans, as the scan can happen once, and then from that amount of time, slowly also decreasing the price of the product. I did not include it as first I have to do the permissions, plus the 3D technology, the scanning technology, which it is for the moment a tiny bit complex to do, but it is doable. But first, of course, the permissions, etc. Of course, time is money. So for the moment, the price of the product will be a tiny bit expensive. So I'm plus or minus around 20 to 25 euros. And then over time decreasing to 15.
That's fine. No, what I just want you to keep in mind is that noting that as an initial cost that would have to happen. So understanding at what point will you start making a profit. So will it be you're functioning at, for example, a break-even point for the first year, but then you project that within year 2, year 3, you start. It's just something to keep in mind and something possibly to factor into your budgets. But well done.
I think the scans, I will include them already in the first price, so during the first months of the business, and then slowly removing it. Of course, I cannot keep with the same price, or rather, competition and many people won't buy it. That's it. Also, as I forgot to say, the 3D models can be used also as a tiny version, as a keychain. So we don't get a big model, you can get a small keychain.
Thank you.
Welcome.
From my end, just two observations. So think about integrating NFC text, for example, in these kind of architectures. Because literally you're selling a story, and you'll make your product more. You'll be selling more a story with your product, so your product becomes more, you can price your product higher. The second observation would be check about the PLA you were speaking about, because you want a higher shelf life, because it will degrade for the customer. So try to find a balance with maybe a better PLA.
Well done for the presentation and also the idea. In fact, one thing I liked, the fact that, as was just mentioned, you're selling also a story, the history of the place. And I like the fact that you're trying to pitch this idea for businesses. So it could be a way for them when maybe they're going abroad and maybe they want to give someone to other business partners of theirs. It would be a nice thing. My question is similar to what earlier. What are the skills that you already have that will help you with this venture?
So I have some skills in computers. I have some HTML, some programming languages, some designs there and there. Yes, in computers, yes. But in 3D printing, not yet. So it is a big learning curve to make, which especially the minute details, you have to be careful. At first, of course, I won't do the cittadella. It's too complex. I would do a galleria, the Maltese traditional galleria, and then slowly expanding to cittadella. Thank you. Also, a small gift for the judges.
Thank you, Fulvio. Next, I would like to present Gabriel Healy with his idea Aqli, lawċi qabel l-Ingliż.
Hello. Okay, so hello, my name is Gabriel. I'm a 23-year-old researcher at the University of Malta. So before we start our presentation, I want to play a game. So, can you tell me what this is? Okay. Okay. So depending on which rock you spent most of your life growing up, this is either a saqqu or a mitrach. Okay. So I believe the judges are Maltese, most of them. Did you know what mitrach meant before today? It means yes. And if you want to see the data, okay, this word is mostly used in the northern part of the country, including some parts of Melliha, okay? So, okay, let's say you didn't know what a mitrach was, and you know, AI is all the hype, so you go on ChatGPT here, and I open the app, and I tell him, ChatGPT, x'inhi d-differenza bejn mitraħ u saqqu?
بكل تأكيد في اللغة العربية.
Okay. So for non-Maltese speakers, that wasn't Maltese. I think if you started talking to me in Arabic, so okay, you might say, well, that's because you talk to it. Maybe, you know, ChatGPT can write in Maltese, so maybe you can just use the normal interface. So I tell him, x'inhu mitraħ? And he lies. It's not true for the information. And if you pay more closer attention, you see that it's actually worse. These are not words that no one will ever say, right? So why is this the case? It's because there's no data. Data powers AI, and there's no data for Maltese, not even Gozitin, so more and more. Why is there no data? That's because the AI companies, big tech, are not going to invest the time or the effort in a low population English-speaking country, which is unfortunate. But if this data was already available, I'm sure they would be rushing to get the market share. It's called first mover's advantage. So the solution, as I propose, is just to gather the data yourself and then sell it to them, right? So that is basically this whole idea. It's called Aqli, which is an acronym, lawċi qabel l-Ingliż, and it basically translates to the Gozitin dialect precedes English. So that's the whole core idea. And the company is basically to set up a data broker company that licenses dialectal speech, specifically Gozitin, to these AI companies. Obviously, I plan to sort of spread it out to other linguistic varieties in Malta as well as standard Maltese, but the most prominent part is the Gozitin dialect. Right. So this is basically the business model. First, you do some market research, see what's available, see what's not. You acquire funding, which you need because annotation and data gathering is expensive. And then you find this loop, which is you gather the data, you give cash incentive to the participants, then you get the annotators. You know, these can be licensed Maltese interpreters or whatever the annotation is. Then you sell and license that data, and the good thing about this is that you can sell the same data to different companies. So you do the work once, and then you just keep selling it to the different companies, because you sell licenses, not the data itself. And then it just feeds over and over again. And if you have a good sample, you can also train a small AI model, or you just give a sample, so you can better market yourself to these companies, right? So financing. So you know, the EU and really the whole world is very bullish on AI, so they're investing a ton of money. I can use Horizon Europe's EIC Accelerator, which can give me up to 2.5 million in grants, okay, just very ambitious funding, and up to 15 million if I plan to dilute the company, right? There's also the consortium, Alliance for Language Technologies, which is basically a new consortium that basically tries to rival Big American companies such as ChatGPT, stuff like that, sort of have more control on these large language models. And on their website it says that they want to support the language data collection and for the use and sharing of European data and to reduce the use dependency on technology. And obviously there's Scienza Malta, which even have very pre-seed fundings just to do the market discovery and just to do the business plan before you even launch anything. So this is a very good thing for startups. Obviously there's D-Hub, MDIA, and many other support. So this is a very, let's say, supportive sort of a company. I will find a lot of people to support me, right? So, okay, so who are the customers? So you have the Euro LLM project, tries to make an AI that understands all Europe's 24 languages. Very good. You have Meta, previously known as Facebook. They're developing an AI that aims to recognize 1,600 languages around the world. Very low resource languages. I'm sure they'd love to get in on Maltese as well. Government entities, the EU, the interpreter. I think there's that one clip of a politician talking in the parliament, and there's some Maltese interpreters. So, you would want a good Maltese interpretation, right? Also, like PBS, the Broadcasting Authority, they can have like automatic subtitles when you're talking with Gozo, or even just varieties of Maltese that can be understood, right? And obviously you have university and researchers. And with all of this data, you can make, right, sentiment analysis, voice assistants, or cerebral Malti, layman terms, right? Also good for films, media, entertainment, language learning, text-to-speech systems. Maybe people on Facebook will learn how to spell, right? Okay, so it's limitless possibilities. Okay, so we established customers such as financing. If this is such a prospectful idea, why aren't there other companies also doing it? So you have other established data collection companies such as NDI and Machines Learning. So they have more experience, they have better equipment, but if they're going to operate outside of Malta, the product is obviously going to be more expensive, it's going to be less quality, and you definitely need someone that knows the Gozan dialect, how it works, so that's their weakness. Then you have open source initiative, like the Mozilla Common Voice data says. Open source basically means that they're doing this for free, just for the love of the game. So that's obviously a direct competitor with us. But, this Mozilla Common Voice data set only has around 18 hours of Maltese speech, and I'm pretty sure none of them are Gozo. So that's unfortunately the setback. It's economically infeasible. Thirdly, you have the tech giants. They have billion-dollar expenditures, and they have access to these platforms like Facebook, YouTube, X, or Twitter. So they have a lot of data. But as I said, they're not going to invest the time and effort. They'll invest their money, not the time and effort, to do this. And also social media data lacks quality, as I mentioned. People write poorly on Facebook, whatever. But that's even more for the Gozan dialect, which is not usually spoken outside of casual conversations between friends. Even here, I'm speaking English. Oops. So let's sort of do an example. Let's say we want to collect 100 hours of Gozan speech data, which we want to license, and we pay these these speakers, right, 10 euros an hour, which is a very good rate for simply just talking, right? So that means 100 hours to collect would cost us 1,000 euros. Then let's say we pay the annotator around 15 euros, 20 euros per hour of the data, not the hour they do. So keep that in mind. So that would mean just to collect 100 hours of data, assuming it's real time, which is not, it's going to be around 3,000 euros. We can easily sell this for 150% markup or even more for 7,000 euros, which then would provide us around 4,000 euros revenue per 100 hours collected. Now, obviously, it's demand and supply, so maybe the price will fluctuate. Maybe there's currently not a lot of investment, so the price would be lower. But if you look at foreign AI companies, they purchase this type of data for a lot more. So 7,000 euros, you're lucky, okay? If I get all this money, the majority will be invested into the data collection. That's the biggest selling point. Obviously, you still need recording equipment. It needs to meet certain data set standards. You need to have a good quality mic. Marketing, you need to tell people, please come record your Gozo speech, with us here. So you need to do that. And then 5% reserves just for what's left. I have a Gantt chart here, but this sort of projects around 2 years. Obviously, the first 2 months, it's just research, market research. You have to find teams and who to get. I marked in red the apply for grants, which are very crucial to this operation. I said 4 months just waiting for the grants, because these take a lot of time, and you don't want to rush it. Obviously, then you start doing the ads. You start sort of collecting the data. Once you collect enough data, it would be ideal to train an AI model on your data, so you can tell people, look, we trained this AI model, so if you want this data, look what it can do. Obviously, for this, I will use MDIA's new HPC computer. I can just apply, and they give it to me for free, which is very nice. Other companies won't have that, right? So that's basically the projection over the last the following 2 years, right? So just a recap of everything. AQLI aims to digitize the linguistic varieties of Maltese, but particularly its Gozo, the Gozo dialect. I should have introduced myself more in the beginning, but I'm a full-time researcher at the University of Malta, so obviously I'm working in AI. I love these kinds of projects, and I plan to pursue a PhD, hopefully, in Maltese technology, trying to do an open source spell checker. So it's something I'm very passionate about. I love my dialect, countries like Italy, they've almost lost their dialect, but I think actually we're very lucky. So, if I manage to make this company, it would basically mean that the Gozo dialect is preserved forever, because it's digitally preserved. Obviously, then you'll get more investment in AI, more traction, more attention. So, yes. So thank you for listening to me, and I love to hear your questions. Thank you very much.
So again, a very big well done. Very topical. AI is on everyone's lips. I have a couple of questions actually. So one of them is, have you done any MVPs around how much data you need for text-to-speech and for the other aspects that you mentioned?
So comparing with other languages such as English, Chinese, French, which have the most mature tools, you would need probably, for a good model, 1,000 hours of data, okay? This may seem like a lot, but if you have a lot of annotators, and once again, 100 hours of data, it's times 10, this can easily be done. It's more about the quality rather than the quantity, but with anything, even with English, if you just add more data, it will recognize more accents, more dialectal speech, and you have a better product. So it's really just how much can you keep this loop going of collect data, sell it, collect data, just keep going like that. But I'd say 1,000 hours. I mean, from my background as working in this, so yes.
That's very good. And with that, would you consider regional dialects, not just the Gozo dialect, but the actual?
Yes. So, if you want to expand further, you'll start with Gozo. It's the second sort of largest community of linguistic speakers in Malta. But then you also have other varieties, not just dialects specifically, even accents. Some people around the country speak different accents. So that would be a good opportunity to expand to. So yes, just how you mentioned.
Thank you.
Hi Gabriel, well done for this.
Thank you.
First of all, I like the scalability of the initiative. I will talk about the threat. What is the competition from these synthetic data sets that are emerging? Will this attack your model along the way? Will it change your viability?
So by synthetic data set, I assume that you don't record people, you sort of...
Yes.
Well, to produce a synthetic data set, you need something to produce it. And to get something to produce it, which you don't currently have, you need actual data. And we currently don't have actual data. So maybe this company could make a synthetic model which would be a threat to my own company. But that is very far ahead. And currently, the current landscape in Malta, it's no. There have been some researchers that tried to bootstrap of, for example, Tunisian dialect. They have had mixed results, but currently there's no threat for that. So,
Okay.
yes.
So thank you so much, Gabriel, for that presentation. I very much enjoyed the energy. I wanted to ask, because you very much were mentioning the grants that you
Yes.
would be able to access. What is your plan? Because these grants are extremely competitive.
Yes.
What is your plan if you would not be able to access these things?
Yeah, so let's assume a worst case scenario where I don't do any grants. I won't even assume MDIA's grants or national grants, so let's really go bare metal, right? Obviously, I'd invest my own money into this, but the good thing about this is that you can start really small, because literally all you need is a microphone. And for me, a Maltese speaker and understander of the Gozitan dialect, I could even annotate the data myself. It would be not as accurate as a proper interpretations, but you would get the snowball effect rolling. So in a worst case scenario, that's what I would do, yes. And I have connections to, people who speak these different dialects, so I could get, the ball rolling, yes.
Well done for the presentation. Way back, I think 2 years ago or 1 year ago, I worked on a similar project, so
Okay.
I could relate a lot to what you were saying. We worked on a model, a similar model for language with the Profs Claudia.
Yes,
Maybe
I know
her. But 3 observations I have. Check other sources. So, for example, one would be there are a lot of podcasts ongoing. They
Yes.
can give you their transcripts
Yes,
for
exactly.
free. So that's a plus. Check devices that can help you. So you don't need actual annuators, like Plod, for example.
Yes,
it actually
exactly,
listens
yes.
and translates for free. So that would make your life much easier. And mainly check also language that is pronounced wrong, because sometimes you need the wrong kind of words to distinguish
Exactly.
between,
Yes,
even if
yes.
you want to take it as a...
I didn't get into the details of how the data collection would be, how the annotation would be. There's a lot of stuff like that, so I just said the data collection, but most probably they're going to be reading a paragraph, or maybe it's conversational. I would test them on how they would retract certain words they say. So, for example, Maltese would say like, ow, yo, leo. So that's not going to be included. The model should be smart enough to do it. But yes, you can really get into the podcast, stuff like that, to improve the product. So it's a good observation. Thank you.
Just one last observation as MDIA then. Check out the regulations about data. So the
Yes.
Data Act, see that it fits within that,
Yes.
because there's actual regulation that regulates what type of data and how long you can.
That's why the business model surrounds sort of consented speech, because if they consent, then sort of you're free. If you start getting into the podcast, stuff like that, most probably you can do it because it's publicly available, but still, then you get into the ethical thing of it. So yes, thank you.
Thanks. Especially for your energy that you brought into your presentation. I have a couple of questions for you. Would it be possible to go beyond your idea? Would it be go beyond Gozo and Malta actually, and maybe partner up with in other countries like Italy? You mentioned Italy,
Yes.
where they also have this kind of number of dialects.
Yes. Well, Maltese is classified as a low-resource language. So if I plan to expand internationally, I would go into these sectors. I mean, all around us, Italian, it's pretty well documented, and even Arabic dialects, they're also pretty good. So maybe after Maltese, I'd go, I don't know, Sicilian, maybe. I know there are a lot of hardcore language preservers that would help me. But yes, if I'd like to expand the business, I have plenty of room. I mean, it's an AI company as well, so it's the trend, okay? So, yes.
And my other question is similar to what I asked, and you already shared some of it with me. What are your skill sets? What are the skills that you already have that will help you get this started?
So I entered university in 2020, and I studied AI, then I did my master's, and currently I'm a full-time researcher. I specialize my master's in AI, and currently I'm a full-time researcher in AI at the University of Malta. So I sort of know how these projects sort of move. And that's why I feel confident that I can manage to do it. So yes, my university and my work. Yes. Thank you.
I would like to thank all those who have presented their idea, Josie, Fulvio, and Gabriel. They were truly interesting presentations. We will now having a short break during which food will be served. I wish you all a good meal and see you later. Welcome back after this short break. I hope you all enjoyed the dinner. So as a small reminder, today no winner will be announced, as the aim of the event is to instill confidence in the youth who participated. The winner will now be announced on the 1st of December. I would now like to invite the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Mario Borch, within the Ministry for Gozo and Planning, to present to each of the participants their certificate, and also a memento to celebrate today's event. Josie Oldham. Fulvio Valenti. Gabriel Healy. I would now like to invite Mr. Mario Borch, who will deliver the concluding remarks on behalf of the Minister for Gozo and Planning, the Honourable Clint Camilleri, who could not be with us today since he is abroad on ministerial duties.
Thank you. First of all, well done to the participants. I think this is my 5th time that I'm here, and I'm always impressed with the people, with the young people that have the courage to come over here and present their ideas. So very big well done to them. As you have just listened, I'm here on behalf of the Minister for Gozo, which unfortunately could not make it because he's abroad on official duties, taking part in an organization, a body called CPMR, which is a body advocating regions on the peripherals of the continent. And just a little bit of thoughts to link the peripherality of the regions where the Ministry for Gozo is at the moment. And the idea presented during this evening about digitalization, the the use of digital tools. And I think both of them are very well linked together because digitalization, the use of digital tools, offers big opportunities for regions and islands on the periphery. It offers, first of all, an access to the market, but it's not like an automatic benefit, because in order for islands, regions like Gozo to make the full use of digitalization, it needs a certain kind of infrastructure, for example, networks, which very often needs to be undertaken by the central government. And in this way, I think Gozo and Malta are very lucky, because I think in terms of infrastructure, in terms of digital infrastructure and connectivity, I think we're very much well placed. First of all, because Gozo, being a small island, as we know, apart from the fiber optic cable that has been, apart from one, we have two fiber optic cable which connects us to the main island, which in turn Malta is again connected with the continent. But more so, I think we have a very good infrastructure in terms of digital connectivity, and also we have the right legislation in place. I see here people from the Malta Digital Innovation Authority, which a few years ago I had the pleasure to be one of the people working in establishing it. So that's something that I wanted to share with you. But apart from the authority, I think we have a very strong legislative framework which helps these kinds of entrepreneurship and ideas. My last thought, because I think the last one, no, I think Daniel has something to say after me, but I don't want to prolong my intervention. But I think apart from the tools, what is important, I think, is the ideas. And I think youths here, I think, and have a big role to play, because they have this enthusiasm to come up with new ideas, with creativity, and with I think, critical mind that challenges the status quo and try to experiment with something new. And I think that will be the key for the coming years. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Borch. To conclude this evening's event, I now invite Daniel Borch, the CEO of the Gozo Business Chamber, to deliver his closing remarks.
Good evening, dear all. I'm proud that the Youth4Entrepreneurship has now become an established event in our agenda. Following the event year after year, together with Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, who have been with us from the start of this journey, we meet to discuss how we can improve and which new approach can we adopt. However, each year as we go through this journey, I ask myself, why do we do this? Difficulties abound, and each year I tell myself, this is the last time. The time and the effort by all involved is significant. But every year we find ourselves here, and each year we find the motivation to begin anew. And it seems that what appeared to be at first a crazy idea, I was telling Michael in the shower, which was bound to fail, I thought, when I thought of it, is now in its 7th year. And moreover, year after year, we find new stakeholders who believe in it. Apart from the commitment of Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, which is significant and which I gladly thank both Jennifer, Charles, and Simon, who found the time to be with us on his birthday today, so I augur him happy birthday. I am happy this year to welcome our new partners on board, the Malta Digital Innovation Authority, and I remember discussing this idea in Japan exactly 1 year ago, and today here we are. Jobsplus and also Malta Enterprise. While thanking those who continue to sustain us in this journey, that is the Gozo Regional Development Authority, Bank of Valletta, Europe Direct Gozo, and when I say Europe Direct Gozo, I also mean the European Commission representation, and also the Ministry for the Economy, Investment and Strategic Projects. Apart from the support we receive all year round from the Ministry for Gozo and Planning. This year, as you have seen, there has also been an important development thanks to the contribution of the Malta Digital Innovation Authority, which was the introduction of mentors who are also with us to support our contestants. I would like to thank them wholeheartedly for accepting to support these youth. In the past weeks, I was reading a book by the late Pope Francis on the common good, who, without me knowing, answered the question I posed in the beginning. Why do we do this? And first, quoting him, we need our youth because without them, our economy would be one without optimism and enthusiasm. In his address for the event The Economy of Francesco in 2022, Pope Francis had highlighted, when civil society and the businesses lack the skills of the young, the whole of society withers and the life of everyone is extinguished. There is a lack of creativity, optimism, enthusiasm, and courage to take risks. A society and an economy without young people are sad, pessimistic, and cynical. Secondly, it is important that we provide the right environment where our youth can thrive. And that is what we are trying to achieve through the Youth4Entrepreneurship. In a message to entrepreneurs, the late Pope Francis had highlighted how young people need your trust and you need young people, because businesses without young people lose innovation, energy, and enthusiasm. This is why he had highlighted that for us entrepreneurs, that we do not learn, and for the youth, we do not learn any job without corporate hospitality, which means generously welcoming young people even when they lack the required experience and skills. For every job is learned only by doing it. I encourage you, he continued, then to be generous, to welcome young people into your businesses, giving them a glimpse of the future so that an entire generation does not lose hope. And this is my appeal today. Let us not lose hope. These three young people in front of us today, Jody, Fulvio, and Gabriel, are synonymous with hope. But we, as people, and here there are a lot of people who can influence decisions, need to put them in the right conditions to thrive, especially in Gozo. We need to give them the right environment and tools where they can start their business, develop their ideas, and make mistakes along the way. We have a great responsibility, but if we all work together, we can help them be the change makers on our island. But we cannot do this individually, neither individual organizations nor us individually. It is only by working together that we can achieve this objective. And the Youth4Entrepreneurship is a clear example of how this can be done. Thank you.
Thank you. From my end, I would like to thank all our participants, evaluators, partners, and everyone joining us, both physically and online. We hope that today has inspired you to continue developing your ideas and to consider entrepreneurship as a path towards shaping Gozo's future. We wish you a pleasant evening. Thank you and good night.